Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone, to another amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Today, we are going to hone in on how to maximize your new listing. Some ideas, some promotional ideas, some things that are so out of the box that only we could come up with them. And I am very, very excited about deliver this. This is a part of our Seller Agent Mastery classes, and we're going to invite a few others in here to brainstorm and mastermind on this. But so excited to get to this. I also wanted to say, listen, if you haven't joined the Generosity Generation, our referral community, you need to do that at joingengen.com, joingengen.com. And please, if you've ever gotten a great idea from Referrals Podcast, please rate, review us. Please subscribe to us at iTunes or YouTube. And just know that we really appreciate you, the viewers, the listeners, the watchers. And we invite you to join our community. And we'd love to have you, and we'd love to give you more referrals. And so with that, let's open it up and get the ball rolling. Welcome, everyone. Come on in, have a seat, get yourself comfortable, preferably your own seat. Today, how to maximize a new listing. Today, I am going to definitely dive deep into how we got homes sold extraordinarily fast. And just so you know, we did not have coming soon in my early career, so we didn't have the opportunity to pre-market listings. And we didn't have this whole clear cooperation, clear competition issue. We bottom line, we launched it. We had to be an MLS within 48 hours, and we just ran with it. So guess what? With all the other things that we can do in today's world, these are going to be even more powerful. I want to give a shout out to Divya Kataria. She is the originator of this. She asked the question in the joingengen.com group. Hey, I got a new listing. How can I maximize this opportunity? And we had some great ideas that were shared in there on that post. But Sherry was like, Michael, we sold 36% of our own listings to our own team. And we sold homes in less than 12 to 14 days in 2009 and 2010, right after the Great Recession. And it's like, all right, so how do we do that? So the first thing that I want to do, and we're going right out of the chute. If you've got notebook paper, you damn well better get some notebook paper, because I'm going to give you stuff that you've heard before, maybe you've never heard before, but I'm excited about talking about it. Now, congratulations, you've got a new listing. That's a big deal. Somebody has literally entrusted you with their very valuable equity. And that's the truth, right? The great thing about real estate is we literally have the opportunity to make money on somebody else's investment. That doesn't happen very often. It only happens in the brokerage worlds. So, and I don't just mean real estate broker. It's like a broker of a car has the same thing. And if they're a broker of a stock, it's the same thing. But the very cool thing here is you've been entrusted with it. They signed with you. Congratulations. Now it's time to get to work. So the first three things that I just want to put out here is what it takes to get a listing sold. Number one is pricing. You write that down. And some of you are like, I know that. And yet you're the very one that's freaking sitting here with overpriced listings because you're like, I want the listing, right? And by the way, I'll even give you a little note on that, right? When the seller is saying, are you guys even here? Are you even here? Listen, if you're not going to come on video, freaking just drop off. I'm serious. What are you doing? Right? What are you doing? Listen, I'm telling you right now, get here right now. Focus. Get off your damn phone. I'm set. Don't worry about the kids. They're fine. They're fine. The problem in real estate today is everybody thinks they can work from home. The truth is, all the studies show those of us trying to work from home are less productive, right? Why? Distractions. What the heck, people? What am I doing? I'm telling you this. I'm so on fire right now that my coworkers, my staff in my office are wearing freaking sunblock. Do you understand? Like, we are on fire. So get your shit right or get out. I'm tired of it, right? Engage. Let's go. What I'm telling you today is going to make you in the top 0.5% of all realtors, period. How do you get your home sold fast? You want to get paid faster? I'm going to show you how. Number one is pricing. Write it down. Write it. You're like, I know that. No, you don't. Here, you know how I know? Is because when I went to sell my home after selling 1,500 homes, you know what I did with my home? Because it was my home. What did I do with my home? I freaking overpriced it. By the way, if you ever see realtor owner in the comments, in the subject or just listing description, just know it's overpriced. I'm just telling you, I guarantee what realtors do is they overprice their own homes. It's a true story. So, and I did it. So I guess I can even say, guess what? It happens. But if your listing is not selling, it is simply because it's overpriced at the very first thing, right? Because here's the thing. What do people determine showings by? They really determine showings by price, right? So if you're not getting showings, it's price. It's always price. Now, I'm going to assume that there are no idiots on here besides me, right? I'm the only idiot here, but I'm going to assume a couple of things. You had professional photos done. Okay, I'm going to assume that you had professional photos done. And you're like, well, it's my first lit. Pay the $200, pay the $300. You don't have to do drones. You don't have to, drive a drone through the front door, all the way through the back door, and so on and so forth. You got to at least have professional photos. If you are a professional photographer, I would still hire a professional photographer. Okay. All right. Which is why a lot of realtors get kind of pissed off when their expired listing and then they see it after they see it relisted like a couple months later and it's all their photos. By the way, if you have an expiring listing, take all your photos out of MLS. Just take all your photos out of MLS, save them on your computer, and let the next person try to figure out how to get it without freaking taking your photos. Right now, do you need virtual tours? I just saw somebody type about tours, and I want you to know there's never been a seller in the history of the world that's chosen you because of a 3D tour. And there's nobody that's ever bought a home. Now, this is not true in 2020, but in 2020, we didn't do virtual tours. We actually went and actually video toured the home for people, and they bought homes unseen. The chances of a person buying a home unseen is pretty slim, but here's the thing. If this is your first listing, you don't necessarily need a virtual tour. I'm just telling you. And here's the other thing. If the home is really small, right, or cozy in the real estate words, if the home is really small, you should probably not do one. I'm just telling you, right? Because here's the thing. If it goes through and it's virtual tour and they're like, oh my God, that room is like 12 by 16, right? Or 12 by 12. It feels bigger when you're in it. When you don't do anything that's going to cause people to rule the home out. One of the things I'm going to talk about in the promotion part of this is, and this is the less is more. Less is more. Less is more. Because a lot of people are ruling homes out versus ruling them in by what realtor, or actually nowadays ChatGPT wrote, right? Because nobody writes their own listing description. That's a huge mistake. And I'm going to tell you what the answer is there. But the bottom line is less is more. You might want to write that down. But here's the thing on pricing that I'm going to help you a bunch. And if you've already got the listing, it may be too late, but it'll save you on the next listing. Write in, have amendments, have addendums to the listing agreement. We have an ELA, exclusive listing agreement. I'm going to have a couple of addendums that say that every 2 weeks, we're going to lower the price by X amount. Every 2 weeks, we're going to lower by X amount. That is right up front, right? Now, it's a beautiful thing because here's the thing. In 2 weeks, you're not getting any showings. You already have it in writing to go down. You call the seller, you give them an update, you lower the price, and you run the entire promotional cycle again, which is I'm going to tell you in a little bit. All right. Then, all right, here's the other thing. This is what I did several times, right? Is that I would go and at the 2 weeks, let's say we're getting showings and we're getting interest. I go, hey, listen, I know that we talked about lowering the price after 14 days, and I just want you to know, hey, listen, we've got showings, we've got interest. I'd like to wait 7 more days on that price drop. How are you with that? And they're like, great. But here's the thing. You don't need any new paperwork, right? Because it's in there at 2 weeks or you're going to lower the price. So after 2 weeks is literally any time for the rest of your life. So the bottom line here is get up front your price reductions. Get up front your price improvements. And here's the thing that I always said to kind of get that started. Hey, listen, we're going aggressive with this first price. We're going aggressive with this first price, right? So you've noticed what we've done. Your dollar per square foot, your competition's priced at this. The ones that are pending and sold are priced at this. We have a feeling, but your house is a little nicer. I think we've got it a little more geared up. We're going to go X amount more and go a little aggressive the first 2 weeks. And here's what we've discovered, right? Is you can be aggressive for 2 weeks. You can't be aggressive for 2 months. If you're aggressive for 2 months, you won't be the one selling that property. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay. You don't want to chase the market down. 2 weeks, the market's not going to change a bunch unless like something catastrophic happens, right? So pricing. You're going to go, oh, but it's a really nice home and it doesn't matter, right? It is pricing. The second thing, okay, number 2 is product. What is the shape of the product that you have, right? And if you're not getting staging or you are not, now I got to the point where I should have just got my professional staging certificate, right? I could do it. But if you're newer, or this is, one of your first 10 listings, I would hire a stager. And here's the thing that you want to know, right? As a newer agent, you don't have any money, right? Put the stager on credit card or have the seller split it with you or have the seller pay for it. If you're a really good salesman, you'll have the seller pay for it. If you're an average salesperson, you'll split it. And if you suck at sales, then just pay for it. And by the way, that's life in general, what I just tell you. The better salesman you become, the more money you're going to make. It's not because of the money you made, it's because of the money you didn't spend. And you may want to write that down. And I'm on fire. I told you, some of you need to put sunblock in on your house right now, right? And maybe it's that new cologne or that new perfume Lynn's wearing. I don't know, but I'm on fire over here. And it's like, watch out, bees. I'm competing with you, right? So now, by the way, if I have a bee in this hand and if I have a bee in this hand, what's in my eye? Anybody know what's in my eye? I've got a bee in this hand and I've got a bee in this hand. What's in my eye? Do you guys know what's in my eye? Ladies and gentlemen, it's beauty, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Come on now. I mean, I don't care who you are. That's funny. All right. Some of you are just giving me the eye roll. I get it. I've been here. I'll be here all week. I mean, all day, or at least the next 50 minutes. All right. So here's the thing. Product staging. It's got to be staged. It's got to. And here's the things that I want. All right. So I just want you to know that the importance of conferences and going to conferences. One thing that I will let you know is that I went to a ton of conferences. I put it on a credit card. I didn't have the money. I came from teaching. I made no money teaching, right? I made no money coaching, and I got into real estate, right? So, but what I knew from football especially was that you go to clinics to learn from other coaches. So guess what? I went to all the conferences. One of the first conferences I went to was a new home conference. They were on new construction, builder, like that kind of thing, right? I know, and by the way, I went by mistake. I was so stupid. It said like real estate conference, but it was really not it was actually a new construction, new build, new home sales thing. But I'm telling you what, I learned more at that thing than I think I did at some of the other realtor conferences I went to. But one of the things that I really learned was how to sell new homes, right? Could you imagine if a new home you walked in and the carpet was dirty and the tile was dirty and the walls weren't painted? They don't do right. I mean, they have a huge amount invested in this. So it's one of those where make your product look like a model home. And this is where you have to be strong enough to tell the seller what they need to hear versus what they want to hear. And the word you want to use is treasures. It's time to put your treasures away. I remember showing the single guy's home and had a nude photo, or not a photo, but literally a nude piece of artwork on the wall. And it was like, hey, listen, that's a treasure. Like, we would never want that damage. You've got to put that away and make sure it goes to your next home. And he's like, no, it's really kind of annoying. And I really hope that somebody did, because it was my ex, right? And I'm like, okay, so we need to get rid of it though, right? So the word is treasures. How do you get them to declutter? Please don't go in and talk about how cluttered their house is. Please, right? Don't come into my house and tell me how cluttered it is, right? But it's like if you came through and, oh, look at this football memorabilia. Look at all these treasures. Like, you should pack those up. You're moving, right? So pack those up. Here's the other thing. Speaking of Lynn's new perfume, okay? Something I learned at that new home conference that I instantly implemented that was very powerful is sounds and smells sell. Did you know that the number one memory sense is smell? The number one memory sense is smell. How many of you remember the doghouse? You know what I'm talking about, right? How many of you remember the smokehouse? You know what I'm talking about, right? How many of you remember the weed house? I mean, and nowadays, like you go 5 houses, 4 of them are weed houses, right? I mean, it's crazy out there. But maybe I'm showing the wrong homes. But here's the thing, right? Is the cat house. And they literally walk out and they're like, cat house. And so here's the thing. Smell. What we did the smooth selling system. By the way, all of this is kind of part of the Seller Agent Mastery curriculum that I'll be doing later in the year. But here's the thing, is we did an ocean scent, like an ocean breeze scent, right? Not too strong, but it had that a little bit. Now, it's not a strong coconut. It's just like ocean scent. And you can get plugins and put them throughout the house. Here's the thing. You don't want the house to smell like nothing either, right? You want the house to smell slightly good and consistent, right? So, everybody good? All right. So now here's the thing, right? I'm not talking about, selling a new home. I'm talking a 25-year-old home. We're going to make it look like a model home. Your goal with these 20 is to make it. So here's the other thing. Minimalization, right? Minimal. Here's the thing. When in doubt, take it out. Write that down. When in doubt, take it out. I'm not sure what to do. We want to maximize floor space, counter space, wall space. Write that down. We want to maximize floor space, counter space, and wall space. Got it? So, like that might take some filling in some holes on the wall. Guess what? It's okay. That might mean that you've got to put the freaking toaster in a drawer. And I want you to know that's okay. That's okay. Now we're going to clear off the island. We're going to clear off the counters. Now we can put up a flower vase, right? We can put up a centerpiece in the island. You see what I'm doing here, right? We are going to sell our homes like model homes. We're going to make them look like model homes. That's the goal, is to make it all look like, here's the other thing. The walls are blue or gray or something like that. blue or gray are killer on sales. Killer, blue or gray. Could you imagine walking into a gray ceilinged home? Some of you have gray ceilings. You need to paint that. It's like you're in an overcast. You're literally, you're wondering why a dark cloud follows you everywhere. It's because there's literally, you painted a dark cloud on your ceiling. Everybody good with me right there? Everybody good? If you're selling, your ceiling should be white. I know that sucks. I know that sucks, but the ceiling should be white. They should be. Have you ever heard the phrase open, airy, and bright? Right? How about like open, airy, and dark? Right? That doesn't go the same. So, all right. All right. Okay, here's the other thing. All right. All of you. Here's what I did every year. If you have a parade of homes in your city, how many of you have raise your hand actually physically? How many of you have a parade of homes? Okay. If you do it, take the parade, go visit. But here's the thing. If you have, like me, there were many years I was so busy selling 300, 400 homes that I didn't have any time for that. But here's what I did every year. I would go to the most popular new homes. I would go the most, and I would go and look at it. And I remember when the browns came in, right? The brown tones. It was brown, 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 literally triple brown, right? And then I remember we actually called it the Johnson County beige because I'm from Johnson County, right? So I remember everything was beige, right? So by the way, I'm not old enough to remember mustard refrigerators. I'm just throwing that out right now. Just, you do not age me in this video. I do not remember that, but some of you are like, I remember the mustard refrigerator, right? I get it. So, okay. Lynn, quick question or quick comment? I'm talking about product right now, pricing, product, and then I'm going to go into promotion.
Okay. Well, I'm backing up a little bit. The listing that I'm having trouble with right now has a giant sectional that is way too big for the room. Okay. It was the first thing I noticed when I walked in there. It is the first thing that an interior designer noticed. How do I get them to, it needs to go.
Did the interior designer actually go there?
She came to my open house.
Okay. So did she write that on some type of feedback form?
No, she just.
All right. So have her write it on a feedback form. Just make up a feedback form. You don't even need to take it to all the other agents. Just give it to the stager, have the stager fill out that the big sectional has to go. Got it?
Yep. Thank you.
All right. So good so far. Pricing, product, smells matter, sounds. Let's go to sounds. Please do not play Hello Darkness, my old friend, in your freaking listing. Okay. I'm just telling you, right? Especially if there was a murder suicide in the house. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm here for you. I'm just saying that you don't want anything super. All right. So what do you want? Guess where I learned this, right? I learned this from new construction. They actually did a study. What music should we play in model homes? Now, some of you already know the answer because you've gotten pieces of my Sam, right? But here's the thing. Smooth jazz is the answer. Some of you thought Baroque. Some of you thought classical. Some of you thought it is soft jazz, smooth jazz, smooth jazz. So every radio, some people have the whole house sound. You love those houses. But what we would do is we would make sure, and by the way, I'm from the radio age, so we would literally have the radios on the smooth jazz station in every room, very subtle. It needs to not even be noticeable, right? So it's literally like at a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10 volume wise. It is subtle. By the way, department stores play music, right? All these, why? Because it actually results in sales. Everybody good? All right. Pricing and product. And I'm just telling you, I'm going in order of importance. If you have it priced right and the product is nice, you don't need to worry about promotion. It's going to sell itself. Everybody good? But here's what most agents are too chicken to tell the seller what they need to do to get the pricing and the product right. And guess what? I literally could end this right here. And if you just dedicated and committed yourself that you're going to be the agent who's going to tell people the truth, then you're going to win. You're going to win. And it's like Lynn said with the sectional. It's one of those where it's like, that's got to get out. Can you imagine how much more open that floor, that room is going to look without a huge sectional? What do we want to maximize, right? We want to maximize yard space, but that's a whole nother thing, right? We want to maximize floor space. We want to maximize counter space. We want to maximize wall space. And guess what? I have literally taken homes where there was something on every wall, every counter, all over the floor, right? Floor, and taken it to almost nothing, right? The bed was the only thing in the room, literally, right? And it went from looking like this really tiny thing to, oh my God, we have so much room. So I'm just saying, here's the other thing on product that kind of goes into promotion. This is my transition, is please, less is more. Less is more. You need to be just like less is more. Less is more on pricing. Less is more on product, and less is more on promotion, right? So here's on professional photographs. Do not put the freaking fourth bath and the third bath on MLS and have it go out to Zoom and everything. Do not. I've seen that. I've literally seen pictures of toilets, so many pictures of toilets that it like made me want to go. Like, I'm like, oh, why do I feel this urge? Right. And the thing is here's the other thing. Do not take a picture of the fourth bedroom. Now you can take a picture of it, but please don't put, if it's small, do not put it on MLS. Oh, you guys are talking about the toilet seats that are up. Dude, I've seen toilet seat up and like left behinds in the freaking toilet. I've seen people. No, that's not true. I've never seen a picture of a person on a toilet in an MLS, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We're in the, no offense to you millennials, but you will have, no, I'm just kidding. But all right. So photographs, make sure that they are professional. Make sure you don't have any that you would not want to see. Don't put any, you're like, well, somebody told you that more photographs is better. Oh my God, that it's the furthest thing from the truth. I literally just saw an email I got from an agent from Tulsa who was literally telling people more photos is better. It's like, no, that is not right. Okay, are you guys ready to get into the promotion part? Let me just check for understanding. What is your biggest aha so far from pricing and product? And promotion is going to take us the rest of the call. I wanted to be, by the way, anybody that keeps tabs on my time, I wanted to be done with pricing and product at 30 minutes after. I'm just throwing that out there. So, not that I'm tooting my own horn, Sean Tucker, but I am. All right. All right. If you don't know how to raise your hand, you go down to the bottom, you hit the react, right? And you do hand, right? And then you tell me, like, what was your biggest aha so far? Yes, Becky Davis. There's no way you got any more ahas. You have to be done with my brain, Becky.
I love getting all these treasures from you.
Oh, God. What's the clutter now?
No, I will say that the biggest aha is less is more, and don't be a chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, tell them what they need to hear, especially after you got the listing. Right now, they got to listen to you.
Right.
So, oh, that might be another thing, guys, is don't give them very many suggestions during when you're doing the listing presentation, right? Don't give them very, and by the way, I'm not going to give them the price. I'm not going to give them the price. By the way, I'm going way in. This really should be on after the listing. I'm going to say, hey, listen, the price is the price. You're going to come up with the price. I'm going to come up with the price, and an appraiser is going to come up with the price, right? So we're going to come up with a price, right? But here's the thing. Out of what you've heard so far about my team and from the referral source and from, this conversation, does it look like that the Maher team can be the one to get this done? Yes or no? Right. And by the way, I talk about our smooth selling system. I talk about our certified wise home program, and like there's a system to it. Every question they've asked me, I've said, we have a system for that. Every question they've asked, I've said, we have a system for that. And in some cases, I explain it. In some cases, I just say, we have a system for that, and see if they say, well, can you tell me more about that? I'm telling you, they say blank. I say we have a system for that. They go, explain. Well, tell me more. I tell them more. They ask another question. I say we have a system for that. And they're like, well, tell me more about that. I explain it. Guess what? The next 5 questions, I go, we have a system for that. And they start laughing. And then the 7th question, they go, whatever, we have a cat. And they laugh and they go, I bet you have a system for that. And I'm like, I do. Like I've sold enough homes that I understand what we need to do with cats, right? They should all be exterminated. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I love dogs. So here we go. All right. So Brandon, see what I did there? I talked long enough that the people that raised their hand actually put them back down, right? You can't follow my humor, people. You can't follow. You're just like, I was going to say something funny. Now I can't. All right, Brandon.
I would say the price and the product. So I think so many people spend so much effort trying to market something that's
Promotion,
overpriced
right?
or doesn't present what, or price. So just having those 2 things are super key. Like you said, it'll sell
But
itself.
what within those? Like what you're an experienced, really good agent, Brandon. Like so what within those was the biggest aha? What are you going to implement? Right? I don't even really care about your aha. I want to know, what are you going to put into place? Right?
Yeah, I think telling people the truth was easy when the market was really strong.
Yeah.
And now that the market's settling down a little bit, telling
Yeah.
the truth from the beginning and then not backpedaling later is huge. And I think also telling them that early. So I have one that's coming up next week where we looked at the comps, and then it's been 4 or 5 months, and then things have changed a little bit. And so I think really just telling them price early, keep them updated throughout the process, and then not being over optimistic now that the market is slowing down a little bit.
For real. And guess what? They're going to appreciate that. And it's like, let's say it's like all these homes sold 450 to 470, and you go out there at like 440, right? And then people bid it up, and it ends up going for like 455, right? Instead of going out there at 480, and it sets and sets, and then all of a sudden, you go down to 475 or 450 and it doesn't sell. And then it goes back to 440 and it doesn't sell. And then it goes to 420 and it doesn't sell. And then the next agent's ready to take over. Right. So bottom line is, here's the other thing on pricing. I'm telling you, you guys need to teach your sellers the auction effect, right? What does an auctioneer do when he says, hey, do I have 500 here, 500, and nobody says anything? He immediately goes to 0. Hey, all right, we got $5. We got $5 here. We got $5 here. All right, we got 5. We got 5. We got 10. We got 10. We got 10. And then it sells. A little red wagon sells for $775. Right? Why? Because he went to 0. Right? It's like so. The bottom line is we want to price it so low that the auction effect kicks in. Right? All right, Tiffany Whalen.
All right, sorry, I was double muted. Can you tell me about the cats? I mean, it was really the smell that was interesting to hear. But what about the cats? I was doing an open house for one of my colleagues' clients, and literally the cat was sitting on the table with all my stuff, and I'm allergic, and it was just a mess. I could not get it off the table. Do you tell them to put them away? Because that's what I would do. I mean, a lot of people don't like them.
Yeah, I'm a fan of no distractions at a home. And they're like, well, the cat, oh, by the way, my 2nd year in real estate, I had the friendly dog, right? And they were like, no, the dog's friendly. It freaking bit a realtor, like literally bit a realtor. And the realtor was a hemophiliac. Is that the one that bleeds easily? Right? So now, no blood, no, thank God, right? But that could have been like disastrous, right? So I tell them that just to get rid of the cat, not get rid of the cat, but they need to take the cat for showings. They need to take the dog for showings, right? So that's the answer, right? Whatever, take the kids for showing. Can you imagine just leaving your kids there, right? No, why not? Right? It's the same thing with a cat or a dog, right? Gerbils can stay. I'm just saying. Snakes probably should
Thank
go,
you.
right? I mean, how many of you have ever shown the snake house? Right? I remember going down in the basement, flipping on the light, and seeing a freaking 12-foot boa in the cave. It was like, what? Who does that? Like, man, I had flashbacks. Crazy. And it was a boa too, right? Can you imagine being constricted to death? That would be a bad way to go. Oh, I feel that way sometimes though. I'm married. Anybody else here married? You know what I'm talking about with the whole constricted thing. All right. So Dennis Daniels, how you doing, brother?
Very good, sir. Thank you much. Learning quite a lot, and wanted to talk to you about something that you haven't touched on yet, but we're talking
Well,
about
that's fun,
smells.
Dennis. That's fun. I was asking about the big aha so far, right?
Well, I'll
All
give
right.
you the big aha. It's on pricing, but that's my second point. But on smells, this will be real quick.
Yeah.
The only listing I've ever lost, and once again, it required a lot of smoke cigarette smoke mitigation to the tune of probably about $60,000, price reductions of about 125,000, and I lost the listing to another agent that sold it the dual agency on that. But I mean, it was a frustrating thing trying to be able to get smoke out of the house, and my sense of smell isn't that great. But what do you do? I mean, do you just walk away from a smoke filled house,
No, you
or do
can
you still try to list it?
you can kills it. You can actually you can get rid of the smoke smell, right? So
Okay.
yeah, you can kills it. I mean, it's going to take a few days for sure, right? They have a system nowadays to kind of cover up and kill the smoke smell, but they're gonna need to smoke outside from then on, which is a habit changer,
Right.
right? And here's the other thing: I don't see that as much as I used
No.
to. Like, I mean, smokers are a dying breed.
Right.
You get what I did there? That was a double
Yeah. Oh,
entendre.
absolutely.
No, that was some higher level like English right there.
Oh yeah, I catch your bad humor.
I know you got to be quick. It's super dry and subtle sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes just
Yeah.
right in like a punch in the face. But go ahead,
Yeah.
Dennis. Yeah.
Okay, and then the other point, and it's kind of an aha, because pricing is the most quickest thing to set, but the most difficult thing to determine, because ultimately the market sets a price
I
for
think
the
it's easy to
house.
determine. I
Well, the
really
thing,
do.
well,
So how do
okay,
we? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, okay. So what my pricing strategy is to create like an auction effect. So I try to really hone down on it and come just a little bit below, because I want to be able to have multiple offers, traction,
Yeah,
because I can keep more leverage over the accepted contract if
yeah,
I've got other people. And I have used your approach by, hey, if we don't get an offer on a price that I know it's going to have to sell at here, within 7 days, we're going to drop it to this price. And that works, fella. I put that on the listing agreement and before I take the listing, but doing an addendum is a great aha for me. I'll have that
good.
because once again, that's just something you keep in your pocket and
Yep.
it separates it from the listing contract. But my question is, as far as with the pricing, so if you know the market and you come just a little bit below it, is that what you're referring to as your auction effect?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, this is beyond the scope of today's thing,
Right.
right? But I'm going to do at least three things on the price, right? I am going to, and by the way, which is the most important thing about a listing? It's pricing. You guys should walk away.
Right.
Michael
Right.
Maher said pricing 11. All right. So if pricing's important, should we spend 5 minutes on it or 5 days on it? There's an old adage in the speaker world. If you give me 3 minutes to speak, I'm going to spend 30 days preparing. If you give me 3 days to speak, I'm going to spend 3 minutes preparing. You get it?
Right.
So it's the same thing with pricing. Is too many wing it or don't know how to do pricing. The bottom line is you're going to do your pricing thing, CMA. Now, for me, it was dollar per square foot. And you might go, well, that'll never work in my market. But guess what? I've coached 100 agents in 100 different markets in the last 2 years, and they went to dollar per square foot per neighborhood. And you know what they discovered? And is that it's pretty damn close.
Right.
So you're like, well, it's custom. It's like, no, a dollar per square foot per neighborhood is extremely similar. Okay. Now, you got to realize a dollar per square foot, it's like a sack of groceries. I know we don't use sacks in groceries anymore, but it's like a sack. If we put lettuce and tomatoes and, things like that in a sack, that sack is going to be worth less than the sack that we put lobster and steak into, right? But here's the thing is those sacks tend to gather together, right? In a neighborhood. So in a neighborhood, dollar per square foot is extremely powerful. Okay.
Right.
The other thing that I'm going to do that I don't know anybody else did, I would go, all right, I'm a buyer. I would literally go and do a buyer search that home would come up in. And then I went and looked at the 5 to 10 homes. I would do a preview. I would do my own. And by the way, I'm not, I schedule it for an hour. I'm in there 7 minutes, right? I know what I know. Now, you might have to go through for 15 minutes, but it's like, I'm a buyer. I'm going 450 to 470, right? And I'm going to go and figure out 4-bedroom, because here's the thing that about a house that you don't know about a buyer is what a house is. It's 4-bed. With a buyer, they could really like 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath and think they have to have 4 bath or whatever it is. But with a listing, what it is. It's literally 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. So you look at what they're competing with. Sherry Young. So I do above grade only, and then I calculate. This is easy to do. Finished basement versus unfinished basement. I'm not going to go into that here, but you can easily do that. And by the way, a finished basement has a value. It typically has a square foot value. By the way, when you go to a new build, guess what? They price you out for what it would take to finish the basement, right? So go look at that, and then you can actually use their number for a finished basement. I would probably use 80% of the number. Everybody good? I know many of you are like, I thought there would be no math on this. I get it, but there will be a little math. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Holy crap, Dennis. I could go. Here's the other thing I'll tell you on pricing is get an appraiser. Split it with the seller, have the seller pay it or you pay it, right? Have an appraiser. Go do an appraisal. Guess what? That's a professional third-party opinion of the price. Now, there's ways to use that, and I'll talk about it in promotion. But and I have to tell you that over, I don't know, 2,500 homes sold in my career, I had an appraiser on probably around 900 to 1,000 of them, and I was phenomenal at pricing. If this is one of your first 10 listings, pay for the damn appraisal, put it on your credit card, and learn a lesson. Learn a lesson, right? Here's the cool thing about a non-contractual appraisal is they're cheaper, and the appraiser will do it faster, and they don't have the pressure of the two-party and the mortgage, okay? So the bottom line is a lot of times you get this awesome well-written, detailed notes on what that product is worth. Okay. So I've had I'm telling you, appraisal is a great thing. All right. So you get the appraisal, and here's the thing about an appraisal is there's something about the truth, right? And this is with evidence comes conviction. You might want to write that down. With evidence comes conviction, right? Now we're not talking the court of law, though we could. But with evidence comes conviction means the more evidence of where the price should be, the more conviction you're going to speak with when it comes to the pricing. I mean, some of you are shaking your head like that's the best thing you ever heard. Can somebody write that? Tommy, where is Tommy on here? Somebody needs to write that down. I'm just on fire. I'm telling you, some of you need to apply the sunblock. Mayor's on fire, right? By the way, if not enough people are hanging out with you or they're not right, set yourself on fire. They'll come for miles. Trust me on that, right? They'll watch you burn down. I'm just telling you. All right. So, ready for promotion or not? Because here's the thing. If we do the first two right, promotion doesn't matter. That's the truth. All right. First thing, get a home warranty on it. Right? Do you guys know how much a home warranty costs for a seller? Most of them right now are $0. How much does that cost? Now, how much does the seller think it costs? Okay. All right. Warranty. Here's another one. In the changing market, I would have inspections, pre-inspection. Seller pays. Because if they take it off the market, they still have that information, right? By the way, do you think the seller knows they're going to have to put a little money into the home to sell it? The answer is one. If they don't, if they think they're going to put no money in, you've got a problem seller, and it's probably a listing you don't want to take. Everybody good on that so far? Okay. So please notice that now, if we put the warranty on, we've done a pre-inspection, we have done staging, and we've had an appraiser. We now have a certified WISE home. WISE is warranted, inspected, staged, and evaluated. And it's not just an appraiser evaluation, it's also your evaluation, and it's also the seller's evaluation, right? So it's a three-part evaluation. Please notice I would then put a binder together, right? A 3-ring binder that said certified WISE home. You would open it up. The warranty would be right there. They would flip the page to the eye, the inspection report with the repairs the seller did, right? And by the way, I had the sellers do all the cheap repairs. Need a GFCI? We replaced it because it just checks. Let's say there's 47 items and 35 are done. Guess what? That's pretty impressive to the buyer. Okay. You flip it. It's staging. It's information about the stager, right? And the stager pays to be in the book. Then the E is for evaluation. We have the appraisal there. We have the comps there. We have the pendings there. We have the CMA there, which for me was about a 10 pay staging, Lynn. So, right. So we had that. And then you've got a certified WISE home, right? Now, why is this powerful? Number one, there are 3 things a buyer is really concerned about. Number one is, am I going to pay too much, right? So guess what the appraisal does, right? Now, here's the thing. If your appraisal is lower than your list price, you don't want to include it. You just include your CMA. Everybody good there? Everybody good with what I'm saying? Don't put anything in there that's going to, work against you, right? I mean, lawyers go and they're like, yeah, we probably shouldn't say that, right? That's kind of the same thing. All right. All right. So number one, then the number 2 thing, that will it fit my family, right? Well, they're going to judge that by spatial awareness and walking through the home. Number 3 is, what's wrong with it? Guess what? We have a pre-inspection done. We have had probably 15 to 20% of sales where they used our inspection and there was no third-party inspection from their side. Now, if you're the buyer's agent on this, I'm just telling you right now, 100% of the time, have an inspection done. Just do it. Unless you already know that other inspector and you trust them and that kind of thing, right? So guess what? The buyers, it literally makes the home, if they like it, a no-brainer. Imagine it looks like a model, it smells like a model, it sounds like a model, and everything is right there in front of them. They buy on emotion, they buy on logic, right? They buy on emotion, back it up with logic. The emotion's there, the logic's there. You've got yourself a sale. Good? You ready for more or no? You just want to call it off? All right, next thing. Listing description. What is the theme of the day? Less is more. Less is more. Okay? When you get the listing, you should interview your sellers. You can do it on video, or you can do it on the phone, or you can do it whatever, right? Okay? Number 1, where did you move from? You want to know where your sellers moved from. It doesn't sound weird, right? But here's what this is going to help you in the marketing. And then this is the magic of the Maher show, right? I would ask the seller, both him and her. I hope you're writing this down. Otherwise, I'm just wasting my breath, right? Number 1 is, I would say, what are the 3 reasons you bought this home? I would ask him, and I would ask her, or I would ask him, or I would ask her and her, right? Whatever the case may be in your scenario, right? So I would ask both of them why they bought. Now, here's the other thing. Let's say she bought and then they got married and he moved in. I'm not going to ask him in that case. Okay. I might ask him, what are the 3 things you love the most about this home? But what I really want to know, and there's huge amount of research on this. You can go check it out. And by the way, NAR sponsored a lot of this back in the day and this research. But here's what research shows. The 3 reasons they bought it are most likely the 3 reasons the next buyer will buy it. And you now have your 3 points, right, of the triad of promotion for promoting those things. Here's the other thing that a seller can say that we can't. A seller can say it's within walking distance to the school. We can't say that, right? But guess what? The seller can say it. So in your description, you say per seller, quote, right? And then, right, the 3 best things about this home, or please notice these 3 things about the home: school, pool, and 2-story, right? Whatever it may be, right? Or backyard, flat backyard. Good on that. Everybody good on that? Okay. That's the entire, by the way, some of you are using Chat GPT and everything is open, airy, and bright, and every single set of hardwood floors are gleaming, right? And I get it. But I'm telling you, like, when everybody sounds like AI, you got to stand out. The way to stand out is put pure seller and use seller quotes in your listing description. Okay. The other thing is, when you do that, there's going to be one thing that's repeated. One thing. Like, they're both going to say flat backyard. Well, guess what your number 1 lead in is? And you know what else? Here's what I would do. Okay. Everybody's looking through homes. What do we all see when we look through homes? We see the front, usually a flat picture, instead of let's get creative and go upper angle or lower left angle. It's the flat front picture of the house, which looks like a freaking garage, right? It's like, thank you for taking the picture of the garage that has a home attached to it, right? Especially if it's a 3-car garage. It's a 3-car garage and then a little home next to it, even though the home is actually behind the garage. But anyway, so here's the thing, right? Is I would, if they both said flat backyard, I would take an amazing picture of the backyard from an upper angle, and that would be my lead picture. The second picture could be the front, right? But my lead, and just so you, if it's a horse property, don't have a picture of the ranch. Have a picture of a horse. Everybody going with, okay. If it has a grand entry, don't have it be the first picture of the house. Have it be the grand entry, and then the next picture is the front of the house. Everybody good with me? Everybody good? Lead with your best, right? Or drink a lot of alcohol. That's what my dad said when he was saying about dating. He was like, listen, and guess what? Alcohol was how I got Sherry. So I didn't have anything to lead with. So I went with the liquid confidence. So please drink responsibly. Don't drink at all. Whatever. All right. Under promise, over deliver in the listing description. I'm tired of these things that make it sound like the Taj Mahal, and then you get there and it's a freaking beater, right? Less words is better. Warning about ChatGPT. We got that. All right. You ready for this next one? Promotion. All right. When I think of promotion, I think inside out. You might want to write that word. When you think of promotion, think inside out. Inside means, like, literally is listing description, photographs, and then we're going to think inside out from a people perspective. So from inside out, who would be the first person I would think about? It's the seller, right? So the seller is the first person I'm thinking about. And so with the seller, I'm gonna say the following. Hey, listen, seller, maybe this is being recorded. I don't know. Hey, seller, do we want to market this at 95% or do we want to market this at 100%? Well, I mean, okay. So Becky, will you play with me? You're next on my screen. So I know you've already talked, but
Sure.
all right. So, hey, seller, here's the thing. Do we want to market this at 95% or 100%?
100.
I'm so glad you chose that because I just want you to know I can't do anything less than 100%. That's probably why you referred to me in the first place. But here's the thing. I'm going to take care of the 95%. I'm literally going to get this out to millions of faces, millions of places, and I'm going to take care of that. But here's the thing. I'm going to need your help for the other 5%. Are you willing to help me sell this?
Definitely.
Great. So here's, according to NAR research, and that's the National Association of Realtors, 5% of all homes in America are sold to someone the seller knows or a seller's relative. So here's the thing. We've got a plan for that 5%. I'm going to give you the MLS link and I'll actually give you a couple paragraphs. And if I gave you that paragraph and the link to the homes, could you send that to everyone you know by email?
Yes, I could definitely.
Right? Absolutely. It may, and by the way, one of the phrases I'll make sure I put in there is may not be for you, but it might be for someone you know. That way they're like, well, that's not for me. Right. But the fact of the matter is we've sold homes to someone they knew. Right. And honestly, almost all the homes we sold are to someone knew. Would you agree? Right. Okay. So here's the other thing. Now, I'm going to give you just a sentence that you can put on Facebook and so on. And it's going to be, about your home, about your move, and that you're selling it. It'll have a link to the listing. And then underneath that, so they don't bother you, they bother me instead. That's why I get paid. I'm going to put my contact information there and they can email or get with me on inquiries so that you're not having to do a lot more, right? So would you post that on Facebook if I gave you the information?
Yes, that sounds great.
Awesome. That's all you got to do really for that 5%. Now, working together, we're a marketing team and we're now marketing at 100%. Does that sound good?
Yeah, love it.
Great. Right. Now, here's the thing. I didn't say Twitter. Twitter used to be a different platform than it is now. Okay. And it used to be really good for getting the word out. But honestly, it's really Facebook. It could be Insta too, but Insta is really photo based. So you're going to have to photo it and then put your description in the Insta. So you're going to have to play with that. But I've had a lot of success with Facebook over the years with that. Okay. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate it. All right. So may not be for you, but it could be for someone you know. Have the seller record a video or interview them. Interview them about the home, right? How many bedrooms does your home have? How many bathrooms? What neighborhood are you in? What school district are you in? And then what are the 3 reasons you bought? And then ask, hey, why did you choose the Maher team as your real estate, right? As your real estate representative, right? They answer that. And then you've got this video that you can use in a million different ways. Okay. Make it an easy interview, easy answers that goes to the 3 reasons, right? And by the way, do not ask, why are you selling? Do not ask that. That goes into motivation. You need to keep that confidential, right? We are asking basic questions and then we're asking 3 reasons, which you can publicize. And then you can ask them the real estate question. Okay. Yes, you could put the video on YouTube as well, but very few people are going to YouTube to look for homes. I'm just telling you. Right? All right. Seller. Okay. Now, the last couple things I wanted to say, and we're not going to get to everything, obviously. Would you guys want a part 2 of this maybe next week? Would you guys be open to that? Because I'm not going to have time to get into caravan and open house. And here's the thing. I just want you to know, you don't ever have to do a caravan or open house if you do the first part right. Would you guys agree with that? Right? We never did an open house the first Sunday. Never did an open house the first Sunday. You want to gauge the market for the product. You want to do an open house the second Sunday. Second Sunday. Second, set yourself up for success. Can you imagine you're listing, photographing, like doing all this stuff? It comes on the market Thursday and you've got to have an open on Sunday. Like that's a lot of stuff. If you do it the second Sunday, and here's the thing, the cool thing about doing the second Sunday is just sell it the first Sunday, right? That would really solve a lot of your problems. Would you agree? Here's the other thing. Do your caravan the second Tuesday. Right? You guys still do caravan on Tuesday or you do Wednesday? What's the day of your caravan? When is it, Cheryl Pozak? When's your caravan?
Know what that
That's
is.
cold.
When?
Don't know what that is.
Caravan? Agent open house. Open house for agents.
Oh, sorry. Friday night and Saturday.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Man, I freaking love that. Not taking time out of my really like high energy moments of the week, Tuesday at 11 to 1. Let's go. All right. So
Sundays
what's the
is
key
the
to?
day is my day off.
Okay.
It's
Love
my
that.
Sabbath day.
All right. So, Dennis, that's a huge advantage if there's no caravans in St. Louis anymore, because you're going to have one. Instantly differentiates you, right? And it sounds like from Cheryl, like I would do it like on a Friday or a Thursday, right? Do it on a different day of the week. But the secret to a good caravan is food. I know that sounds super awful, but it's the truth, right? You get them there with food and maybe prizes, but the key is you have a feedback form. And once again, I'm going to take a step backwards because I'm working inside and out. So we started with the seller, and we started with the seller's fear, right? We used the seller's social media. They're going to post, right? And then you're going to share it, right? Then it's your sphere. Your sphere needs to know about this listing, okay? This is how we sold 36% to our own. In 2006 and then back again in like 2021, 22, we were matchmakers. The houses were never even hitting the market. We were literally like, boom, it's on. So circle prospecting is the next thing. Now, and I want you to know something. I invented circle prospecting. In fact, if you go to circleprospecting.com, but here's the thing, circle prospecting, the phrase, has been bastardized by the cold callers ever since then. Here's what circle prospecting really is. You have your listing, right? You have your listing. Who is out of your sphere that lives nearest to that house? Right? Who from your sphere lives nearest that house? Now, you should be good at this. You should know enough. But the thing is you may not know. You may have to use, GPS or something. But here's the thing. Who's the first person that comes to mind when it comes to that house, right? You're going to call them. So I would be driving out of the neighborhood, right? And I would call the first person I thought of. And I would just say, hey, I thought of you today. It's like, why is that? Well, I just listed a home like not too far from you. And I just wanted to let you know about it. And like, how are things going? Right? Now, the listing was the reason for the call. Now, you might think I'm doing this to sell the home, but I'm really not. I'm really doing this to get more referrals. I said, how do we maximize the opportunity of a new listing? That's right. You don't maximize it to strangers. You maximize it to friends. You may want to write that down. Okay. So sphere, you're going to call people who like you think of when you think of this home. So your ambassadors are all going to get calls. Your best referral sources, they're going to get calls. But the way I used it is I literally, and just so you know, this is, I think, inside out. That's why I actually drew this in like 2003 at a REMAX conference, and it became circle prospecting. So you think of the home, and then you're like, what's the sphere around it, right? And then what's the sphere around that? And I'm telling you, I would end up like at the edge of Johnson County. So it's like here, and it's like, hey, I just thought of you. They lived in the neighborhood. The next neighborhood over, it's like, oh, I thought of you because it's in the next. I would be driving down Quivira, which is 5 miles away, and I'd say, hey, you're in Overland Park. I just listed a home in Overland Park, right? And then I would get outside of Overland Park and go into Olathe, and I would, hey, I just listed a property in Johnson County. I thought of you, right? Everybody good here? And you're literally making 100 calls that take you 5 minutes. And here's the other thing. If they don't answer, you leave a voicemail. If they don't answer, it's the same script. You're just leaving it on voicemail. Guess what happens to your script when you leave 100? Your script gets pretty damn good. You are practicing on real people. I believe you should practice on real people, right? All right. The other thing you want to do with your sphere is you want to invite them to the agent open house. Did you hear me there? You want to invite them to the agent open house and you want to invite them to the open house. They will not come to both unless they're buying that house, which has happened. Got it? You see what I did there? You're going to invite that, and you're like, well, what about all the other agents are going to be there talking to your people? Well, if they're your people, guess what? If the other agent's more convincing than you are, then they weren't your people. But you're definitely going to invite them to the open house. Why? You're going to make the open house an event, right? A big event. All right. Questions so far? Aha so far. This is where you raise your hand. Give me some feedback. My feedback is I can't write fast enough. Yeah. All right. So Cheryl posed that. That's really what I have under the open house, right? So like I said, we'll go into more depth down the road. But one of the thing with the open house is, let's say you do a 2 to 4. 1 to 2 will be you know what? We'll just cover it right now. How about that? All right. So we're going to invite the neighbors to a sneak peek. SNEAK, not PEAK. It's not sneak peek at the top of a mountain. It's sneak peek, PEEK. Realtors, we good? Sneak peek, sneak preview, right? Of this amazing home in your neighborhood. They all want to come. And by the way, don't be afraid to have a stager there to give design ideas. Did you hear me there? Don't be afraid to have a stager there to give design ideas. If your stager pays you enough during the year, she will not or he will not have to work with anybody else. You're gonna be a master at getting her or him leads. I'm gonna say her a lot for a stager because I had her stagers. The 3 stagers I had through my career were hers, she's, it's. I don't know what are the new pronouns. Them's. All right. So. Okay, so you're going to invite the neighbors, and here's what you need to know. P.S. Traffic is going to be on the rise this weekend, right? So please know that a lot of times when I have an open house, traffic will be up. So please, with your pets, with your children, please make sure they're taken care of on Sunday between 1 and 4 p.m. Do you guys get the subtleness of that one? Where that really is powerful, and Heron, I love that you brought that up again. Thank you, sir. Right? Where that is really powerful is if you want to do a 10-5-5 door knock around the open, right? Maybe the day before, Saturday, you take your kids, you take your dog, and you just knock on the doors and just go, hey, listen, I'm not selling you anything. I just want you to know down the road, we have a new listing. It's just coming on the market. We're having an open house, but traffic may be up. You know, I've got a dog. You might have a dog. I just wanted to let you know that, hey, listen, just traffic may be up a lot of time. And here's what I want everybody to know. You guys need to all know this. Traffic is up in every neighborhood in America every weekend of every year. But you know what they're going to do this weekend that they never did before? They're going to notice it and they're going to think you caused it. Now, you might cause a little bit, but the truth is traffic is up on the weekends and at rush hour everywhere, right? So, good stuff. Invite neighbors. If you're going to put out pointer signs for your caravan or your agent open house and your open house, whatever you're thinking, put out double, right? 20, 40. If I'm a fan of more signs are better, right? Every direction. I will throw a warning out here though. If there is a better route to the home, like there is a better route to my home, I want them to come in through the grand entry. Does everybody know what I'm saying there? Right? There might be side roads that bring them in. I don't want them to come in that way. So I'll put 4 signs at the grand entry and have them come through and directional that way. I mean, I know that directions are not a big deal anymore, right? Because of Waze and because of GPS and Google and stuff. But listen, put something in there anyway, just to make sure that it, just say best route to the house is, okay? Have a sponsor partner for your open house. Have a sponsor partner for your agent open house. Stager is great. Warranty is great. I'm a believer in sponsors. Would you guys agree with that? Right? Sponsor mastery. All right. Caravan, food, prizes, get feedback. Report any price suggestions that they give on feedback sheets. Have a sponsor for your caravan, especially the food, right? Have great food. Lynn Faselli just had one with tacos. Like, let's talk about this house, right? Really good. Taco Tuesday makes a lot of sense for Tuesday caravan people. I'm a fan of tacos. If you're not a fan of tacos, then we're probably not going to be friends. I mean, it's that strong. All right. I will tell you now, here's the thing. And I know I have Toral on here and I have a few others on here that do a lot of business. Here's the thing. Let's say you've got something that's on the outskirts of town. You can also invite them and then you can go get them, right? So this is actually an invitation to an agent open house that we did at Stonebrook Place right there. So we did an invite and then we actually went and got them in a limo. So we had limos taking the agents to our agent open house. We had 12 limos. The limos never stopped. They literally stopped to pick people up, dropped them off. We had limos at the facility that would take them back when they wanted. And here's the thing, with a limo, you don't pay for the gas, right? You don't pay for the mileage. What do? You pay by the hour. Well, guess what? I got my freaking hours worth out of all those limos. But here's the other thing. The entire thing was sponsored by the limo company. I didn't pay a dime for the limos because I had the limo number on the bottom of the invitation. So they did not charge me a dime to do that. I felt really smart right there. I'm just selling. I'm not very smart, but I really felt smart for a moment right there. Please give me this moment real quick. I mean, I'm married, so I really have a low self-esteem. So it's really good when I have these moments. And some of you might be able to relate. Some of you, I can tell, cannot relate to me right now. It's all good. All right. Last couple things is, by the way, great language. Great language. You might want to write this down. For your just listed is, did you hear what your neighbor did last night? Did you hear what your neighbor did last night? Or you can say last week or yesterday. Did you hear what your neighbor did last night? Last night is actually the best phrase. Okay. And then they listed their home, right? You can even say, did you hear what your neighbor did last night? And it could happen to you too. Right. I mean, marketing words are fun. All right. Remember the traffic, right? Traffic is the door knock. And by the way, Paulie is the master of this with his door knock. He door knocks and says the traffic's going to be up, and then they talks and that kind of thing. I got away from door knocking later in my career, but I probably should have stuck with it when it came to listing homes. So, all right, the 52% rule on promotion, right? Remember, we're doing this inside out. Now, I'm thinking who in the city might be interested in this property. According to research, people buy at 52% higher than their current home. So a $200,000 homeowner typically will buy a $300,000 home, 3 to 350 with their next home. So if you have a listing that's in the $700,000 range, let's call it 750, right? You would market to the $400 to $600 neighborhoods. Everybody good? Right? So and just so you know, that happens in Kansas City maybe more often than anywhere. You've got the first time home buyer and you've got a second time buyer because people in Kansas City tend to stay in Kansas City, right? So they move up and we market to the first time home buyers or first time the
335 right now.
335. So is that a first time home buyer? Is that a second home or what?
No, they are my age.
No. No, we're not talking about the sellers. We're talking about the home. The
Oh,
home. So is that good for a first time home buyer, or how many bedrooms does it have?
it is a first time home buyer or somebody downsizing.
All right. So that instantly tells me we need to go after the most expensive apartment complexes in the area, right? So we're going to go and we're going to market to, I mean, God, that's the best. I'm telling you right now, in this market, the best is selling a first time home buyer market. It is. The first time home buyers are buying. It just, if I'm in the market 100%, I'm selling to 55 plus. I'm going after 55 plus, no matter how old I am, and I'm going to first time home buyers. That would be my two foci or focuses in the market. That's who's buying right now. The average home buyer is 52 years old right now, people. It used to be 36.
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing. They're less interest rate affected. First time home buyers over 55, less interest rate, right? The middle class is typically most affected by interest rates. So, and Cheryl Pozek with you're right. There are a lot of first time home buyer incentives out there right now, grants, so on and so forth. Know them. You should know them. All right, here's the other thing. Don't know them. Know somebody who knows them. That's even better, right? Don't be the one who has a boat. Know someone who has a boat. You know what I'm talking. You guys have hung around me long enough to know this. All right, we good? I could list probably 20 other things, and I'm not going to do it because we might get overwhelmed. Give me 2 ahas and let's sign off. Right?
I like the 52% rule. That was good.
Yeah, the 52% rule, right? People tend to buy 52% higher, right? So that's a truism that has done very well for me. It's done where it's done the best is when I had a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, like that second home price range, and I went after those like they would be first time sellers now, right? That worked really, really, really well. Here's the thing: the first time sellers were not thinking about school district when they were buying a lot of times. And now they are thinking about school district because they're kids, right? They have a kid or two or whatever it may be. And now, selling that home that's in a good school district really is attractive. Yeah. Do you know what your neighbor did last night? And it could happen to you, right? And where it could happen to you is even better when you go with the just sold. I know I'm getting into some seller agent mastery stuff here, but just listen to what this realtor did to me and my family is the headline. Just listen to what this realtor did to me and my family. I freaking love that headline, right? Because it sounds like it's going to be something negative, especially in today's world. And it could happen to you too, right? That's where I really love, and it could happen to you too, is when it sounds super negative, right? And it could happen. Did you know what your neighbor did last night? Sometimes you're just thinking about sex, right? Because that's what people think about all the time, or at least me. So I'm just kidding. I don't think about sex ever. You know why? I'm married. You guys know what I'm talking about. All right. So with that thought in mind, we can't go the whole thing without mentioning the SEX world, right? All right. Are you sure you still want your hand raised, Brenda and Lynn?
Yes.
All right. Lynn.
I just want to make sure that I understand. You said the marketing to market, let's see, to the most expensive apartment, but are you talking about just marketing in general or marketing my listing?
Your listing.
Okay.
Your listing. So find out what the payments would be on it. Right? So it's 335,000. What are the payments on that? Find out what the payments are. Find apartment complexes where the rent is more than that payment.
Okay.
And then market to them and say, hey, listen, your rent could be paying a house payment.
Thank you. That's good.
Right.
That right there is my big aha. Thank you.
Awesome. Brenda Conyon. And by the way, Brenda Conyon has signed up for the Inner Circle intensive coaching with me, and so is Lynn, by the way. And if you're interested in that, we do have a couple of seats left. It's literally with me, super small group coaching. It's only 6 months. We will be talking every other week for 6 months, because here's the thing. I'm going to pour into you. As you can tell, I'm on fire, right? So I'm going to pour into you 6 hard months, and then we're done. I'm never talking to you again. Maybe. So,
You probably won't want to.
yeah.
So I forgot my question. Oh, so do you need to talk them into sharing it with their friends, their sphere influence, their Facebook group, and do you mention anything about dual agency? Like maybe we can
No.
negotiate or anything? No.
I don't do dual agency, first of all. But okay. So here's the thing is no, is I literally, if you will go back and rewind this podcast, this recording,
Okay.
I give you the exact script to use for them to email it to their people they know and to post on Facebook.
Okay.
Right? It's the 95% script. Hey, do you want to market this at 95% or do you want to market it at 100%? They always say 100%. And I'm like, I can't do anything less than 100%, which is, kind of adds to the whole thing. And then it's like, I'll take care of the 95%. I'm going to send it to a million faces and places. It'll be everywhere online. Homes by Eileen in Pennsylvania will literally hear about this home, right? But I need help with the 5%. Will you help me with the 5%? They say yes. And they're like, hey, you just got to do 2 things. One, I'm going to get you an email that you can send out to everyone you know. Send it to everyone you know, even people out of town, right? And then I'll get you a little blurb that you can put on Facebook, and you could post that on Facebook. So copy, paste email, copy, paste Facebook, and you're done. And now we're marketing it 100%.
Perfect. Got
Brandon.
it. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Brandon. Were you not done?
I
Go
said
ahead.
perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Mayor's in Tide double D mode, DD chaser, right? For those of you not knowing disc, you probably thought of something else there. Brandon, go ahead.
I think one from earlier is spending time on pricing. You used the speaking analogy. I think over the years you can get really comfortable with pricing and then get maybe a little lazy and entitled. But I think it's important to start that really early, let your mind simmer on it, look over the data, etc. And then the sponsor. So you'd think we wouldn't forget that, but and I've done it before. But just having a sponsor for an open house, I know a lot of lenders would want to jump on that and even attend the open house. So and for broker open houses, you mentioned.
That's it. You nailed it. I love those. Those are great ahas. And by the way, several of you put in the chat where to go for the Michael's Inner Circle intensive training. It's referralmasterycoaching.com. I almost regret saying that. I think we have 2 spots. So I'm sorry if it says sold out. If it says sold out, contact me. We'll figure something out. How about that? So Camille.
Hey there. I love the marketing with the sponsors, and I wanted to know if you would show that limo again so I could snap a picture of it. Your limo invite.
The what invite?
The limo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe. like I'm telling you, my camera, I have a high, you would think my camera, there's the invite. Right. Wait. And oh,
There we
bam.
go.
Bam. Oh,
Perfect.
my arm's getting tight. Oh my God. I should
Got
have
it.
done shoulders yesterday. Oh, I'm getting a cramp in my shoulder. Woo. Okay. Now, and then, then I got the sponsor on the back. All right.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Camille. So good stuff today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming off camera or coming on camera and coming off your phone for a little bit. I do appreciate that. Here's what I hope is in the next 30 minutes, you just consolidate your notes. I literally gave you like 52 things in, an hour and a half, and, hope it helps you. I really do. And I want to give Divya a bunch of credit here for asking the question and congratulate her on getting the new, the new and that kind of thing. So referralmasterycoaching.com for the Inner Circle intensive training with me. And that's where we're going to leave it at that. Right. All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And we'll see you next time. And maybe it won't quite be like a fire hose session. We can dive into things a little bit more. But bottom line, good stuff. Good luck. Happy selling. Make it happen.
Thanks, Michael.
Hello. Welcome back, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that. How to maximize the opportunity of a new listing. Literally gave like 50 some plus ideas there. I know that was probably it was 90 minutes, which is the longest podcast we've ever done. And it was rapid fire. And hopefully you get a chance to maybe listen to it or watch this more than once, but just know I appreciate you. We did sell out of the group coaching, and I just wanted you to know that we have opened up another 5. We're not doing any more than 5 in a group. So the group coach, small group coaching with me, the Inner Circle intensive training, go to referralmasterycoaching.com. If you sign up, then you're in. If it's open, you're in. If it says sold out, then we are sold out. I don't have time or room for another group. This will be the last group. It's at referralmasterycoaching.com. I hope you take advantage of that. I'd love to have you. I'd love to work with you. But if you don't like my humor, it's not going to work. If you don't like fast paced, it's probably not going to work. I do care, but I also feel like the time of the market right now is we need to go to work. We need to go to work. We need a swift kick in the butt, and we need to make sure that we're not doing things where we're interacting with our phone. We need to be interacting with people. If we're interacting with our phone, we really aren't getting anything done. You can type stuff in Chat GPT all day, but Chat GPT is not going to sell you any homes. It's not, or any AI is not going to sell you any homes. What's going to sell you homes is conversations. So our big focus for 6 months is conversations and systems to support those conversations. That's it. But it's going to be intense. You're going to get a lot done in the next 6 months. For some of you, you'll be able to build a whole business in 6 months. So anyway, if you're interested in that, go to referralmasterycoaching.com. Also know how much I appreciate you as a listener and a watcher of Referrals Podcast. You can check us out at YouTube/GetReferrals or anywhere that you listen to podcast, iTunes, and so on and so forth. So we'd love you to subscribe if you feel the urge. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on Referrals Podcast.